All right, so this is part 2 of turning 3D printer waste into stuff you can try to sell. So first off, I have some pendants I made in the last video. I don't know. I see people say point here to get the other video, so I'll try to learn how to do that. As well as some stuff I've made before. I've made some pendants since, as well as some coasters and like the shot glasses I've made before that need post-processing. So start off, safety. You're gonna need a pair of safety glasses. You're wondering why the tape, it's because the safety glasses you see that like wrap around like you use the chemistry class, those are more meant for spills and liquids. These are meant for actually dealing with bits flying at you. The tape is to add a little extra protection around your eyes. Also, I like these because they stay clearer longer, and some of these smaller ones you want to be able to do precise. A mask, which I don't need to go full respirator, I just use one of these, or the dust ones. And you can't see, but underneath me, I have some plastic sheeting out, like used for when you're painting or something like that. As well as the bags that I use to, I've been keeping track of my plastic scraps for these last 2 years. Just so they can like go ahead and catch them. One thing, makes cleanup easy. Two, helps reduce microplastics because we can gather them up and then remelt them into more stuff. So there's that. As far as hardware goes, you're gonna need, this is a deburring tool. This is another tool that if you're in 3D printing, I highly recommend, because I cut myself once with this as opposed to the 200 times I cut myself with the X-Acto knife, which we're also gonna need, which I need to grab because I don't have it in front of me right now. Pliers and a Dremel with various bits, which I'll get to in a minute. And that's kind of it for right now. So once you've gathered a bit, like I said, I like to do a couple batches of pendants before to do them all at once, make things easy. And when I do, I have these sorted. As you can see, I've been busy. So I like to keep these sorted between rough, smooth, and drilled. Yeah, I've made that double entendre on purpose. I also don't have the bag that says hung, so that's somewhere back there. So first off, when you're doing these pendants, when you start off, just kind of assess what they need. So like this one, it's got a bunch of extra crap hanging on it. This one, I try to make inspired by the arc reactor. I try and do themes now because I'm running out of inspiration. These, put these on. Oh yeah, in the whole kids don't try this at home, don't try this at me. So these, if it's thin, you pry it off with your hands or with pliers and plunk it in one of these bags. To hopefully do next time. That's one good thing too about making things like coasters or these sort of things, is it's good for shoving all like the little bits in as opposed to trying for the molds, trying to keep them in individual wells. And just kind of get off the bulk stuff. This one, again, has some nice pieces. Oop, that's, and if something too thick that you can't really get off with your hands, don't worry about that. That's why we have the Dremel. This has actually come off pretty nicely though. I spoke too soon. Oh, there's another random bit. And we got a couple more of these. This one I call Wolverine. The sort of claw effect didn't work, but get the colors. Some, like this one, are pretty smooth already. This one is really thick. I'm not even gonna try to bend that. So I'm just gonna set this off to the side. This one actually turned out almost ready to go. So when something like this is pretty smooth, that's what the deburring tool is for. You just kind of wanna shave off the rough sides. You're gonna have little bits flying everywhere, which is again why we have the bags everywhere. you're also gonna probably be chewing into your thumb a lot. I'm glad we got a callus forming. Just go around, smooth it, get the little shavies off, feel around, make sure nothing's sticking out. You don't want to get that getting caught on people or people's clothes. So this one is already smoothed out, ready to go. So I'm going to put it in the smooth bag, and that'll be when we get to drilling things. So I can just kind of keep going around doing that for the basics. I can sort of do a lot of things at once, so I'm not constantly switching between tools. God, I look really stupid with this on my face, but whatever, I don't care. And I'm gonna pause it for now, and I'll get back to you for phase 2. All right, so we're going on to phase 2, and I realized that I forgot to do my shameless plug in phase 1. So that's Garden Menace on Mercari and Garden Menace store on Etsy, where you can buy these pendants and coasters and things like that. Again, fees on Etsy suck. So once you've got things kind of, once you can smooth by hand or with your pliers, you're gonna move on to phase 2, where you bring out the heavy equipment. So you're gonna use a Dremel. Start with the saw blade. Doesn't really matter which kind. I haven't had any problems. You might have to, if you do this a lot, peel off the kind of accumulating plastic. And when I do this, I sort of cut from the back at an angle to try to reduce the chance of messing up the face. Although if you do mess this up, you can just throw it in the scrap bag, try to remelt it into something else. Something like this actually has a really cool pattern. Try to be careful because you're never gonna get that back again. Also, when you melt things again, like I said, it kind of acts weird. It gets really sticky and kind of puffy, so it's better to like shove like in one a coaster, this part like that. But anyway, so yeah, when you cut, you're gonna want to cut from the back at kind of an angle. Again, try to protect the face. Some require a lot, some are just little bits. Again, I like to do all at once. Need cutting. You can grab some the ones I've done before, just kind of throw into the mix here. I actually got a new set of molds that I didn't do in my video, that are bigger, although I'm gonna need bigger jump rings for these eventually, so I'm gonna kind of hold off on that. I'm gonna go ahead and cut a few, and I'll see you in the next segment. The excess off of some of these pendants. Safety concern that I should have mentioned earlier is obviously when you're cutting this, it creates friction. So plastic is gonna start springing off and probably flying at you. And please. Although I have the unfortunate thing of it hitting my neck, which is the one part that's not covered. Again, while we have the bags around here to just collect all the bits that are going to go flying, and you might want to take a shower because it's going to get in your hair. So besides that of hot molten plastic going around, safety with a Dremel. It's like, I was gonna make a kind of a Heath Ledger impression of, you wanna know how I got these scars, but I decided not to out of respect and not make myself look like a jackass. More so. And you have other things here like the shot glasses, same thing. I guess I've already cut these. I lost track. And here with the coasters too. With the coasters, like I mentioned before, I try to do it so you can use either side. So it's gonna be kind of a cut, test level, cut, repeat as needed. But these are looking okay. With the excess bits, if you want, you can try to rip them off while they're still kind of molten. Or if you want to wait till they're cool, that's up to you. But I have a batch here that's ready for the next phase, which is sanding. So again, just a variety of different sanding bits for your Dremel. I need to rip off the plastic on this one, which is again, why we have pliers. If you want to go finer detail, we have these smaller bits. These I really don't stick with. Although if they don't really need the sanding, like just once the excess is cut off, you can again switch back to the deburring tool. Again, just kind of shaving it off, make sure it's smooth so it doesn't get caught on anyone or anyone's clothing. Again, this, like I said, this is, if you do 3D printing, I highly recommend this tool. It's great for like getting rid of elephant's foot, shaving down parts if they need to fit better, smoothing out edges that like have had supports on them. It's great for that and just comes right off. and like I said, it's more idiot proof because I only cut myself once with this, and I'm not even sure how I did that. Kind of even surprised me. So this one is feeling pretty smooth. There's one little corner there. So I'm going to stick this into the smooth pile. This one I call Nightcrawler. Again, I'm kind of looking for inspiration. The lighting's not great. I don't know why my light's not working on this thing. So pop that in that bag. So I'm gonna switch to sanding. Rip off this crap first though, and I'll see you in a bit. I've completed the sanding portion of this. I've caught up on the pendants I've made, and as well as the coasters and various shot glasses I have. And like with the saw cutting portion of this, you're gonna be dealing with a lot of hot molten plastic flying at you. It actually kind of more so because it generates a lot more friction. So again, you can wait till it's cool to kind of try to pop it off and save for later. Now from here, if things look smooth enough, again, hit it with the deburring tool. I can always hit it with a little bit of sandpaper to knock off the bits that are kind of loose around. So once I'm satisfied with these being smooth, I'm gonna start going to the next phase, which is drilling to put in the jump rings and ultimately make the pendants. So I have these different pits for my Dremel. These ones with a little like sphere at the end seem to work the best. I got two different sizes. So if you're dealing with something small, over here, like this, you want to switch to the deburring, to the smaller one. Now when I drill things, again, you're gonna be dealing with molten plastic. I'll see you next time. I like to sort of start from one end and then move to the other end. Because even though the tip is small, if it's thicker, it'll start getting to this deeper part. And on this, we really want to minimize, how much of the pendant you're losing. Do it that way. And also something for like this, for example. One reason why I say in the last video why I don't want to deal with molds that have the hole already ready is this gives me the freedom to pick where I want. Sometimes it's a matter of structure, like if one corner didn't fill right, so it's really skinny, I don't want to put the ring there for fear of it popping out. Or for here, just picking like which one is the best angle. Do I want to go this way, whatever have you. Although something like this, I really don't have the option. I'm never going to do this because I think that would look weird. Something too, if you have shapes like this, initially I tried drilling it normal, but however, I didn't have a jump ring big enough. So ultimately I decided to drill from the side, put one jump ring like this, and then another one vertical so it would hang like this. Where's that teardrop one? Not prepared, here we go. Same thing with this one. You're gonna need a really big jump ring to be able to go over this part right here. So again, these are the ones where I drill from the side. I should really like this one. I wish I knew how to like replicate some of these. So I'm gonna start drilling them. Obviously for the coasters, we're not gonna be drilling anything. Maybe you could use that as wall art. I don't know. But again, I'm gonna clean it up, ripping off these, smoothing out with deburring tool or maybe a bit of sandpaper. So I'm gonna work on that and I'll see you. So I've gone through and finished drilling the holes and the pendants I have. I also went ahead and had the sander to flatten these out. It goes another pass with the deburring tool later. Now when you're drilling these, like I said here, this one I drilled from the side. Unless I had a really big jump ring, which I actually probably need to invest in. Again here, just kind of pick whichever you think would look best, but angle. This one though, this bottom part, the back didn't form very well, so kind of forced to do it this way. One thing too is when you're drilling is you're gonna have to deal with, again, the molten plastic flying at you. So you see it's kind of like sticking out. So just grab a pair of pliers, have handy, and rip it off. You're gonna have to do this like every one or two pendants, just because it accumulates pretty quickly, and you'll find as you're drilling, you're like, something's whipping me, but I can't see it, and then you stop and it's like, oh, there's plastic that's got spun out. So that's another thing you worry about. Of course, it seems less likely to have plastic flying at your face again with drilling, but you never know. Also, too, you want to keep this clean just so you don't like accidentally like contaminate your colors. Like these 3 I did at once without cleaning the bit because they're all black, and that's close enough. Another thing too, you're gonna get molten plastic accumulating like on the edge of the drill hole. So have the active knife. Sometimes these actually scrape off pretty easily usually. And then if you need to clean out the drill hole, and that's kind of it for this. Just go through, clean up the edges, have the deburring tool handy if you need to like any more rough edges you need to go, or if you need to touch up the hole, like this one's kind of filled in already, I just pop that out. And that's sort of it for these pendants. Next part is just simply looping jump rings through them and making pendants. I'm not going to show you that because, I mean, it's just jump ring. It's pretty simple, and you don't have to sit there and watch my big dumb fingers try to fumble with that stuff. So I'll get these ready to go. Probably going to work on more while I have my setup here. So again, final plug of the day. That is Garden Mask store on Etsy and Garden Mask on Mercari. It's kind of for any more recycling. I might do a couple other videos, but I'm not gonna subscribe. I'm just kind of doing this to plug my stuff mostly and help inspire some other people. So that's it, and I'll maybe see you next time.